海外のゲストと英語で対談をしてみたいと思っております。So let me switch to the English. Let's get started.
Start the Japan office of Angry Birds, the game, 100 million downloads instead of 1 million. In Finland, there's this new student startup boom happening, and Slush was one of those projects. Japan needs this. I ended up when Corona happened, so the project went on a break. I feel like if I don't do something now, I'm gonna think for the rest of my life, like, why didn't I do it, kind of.
Why did you decide the name of the Takeoff Tokyo?
Where is the next, like, global success story? So it felt like this is like somebody built like a new airport, like a brand new Haneda airport, but there's no international terminal. Nobody's building the international terminal startups. A lot of the talented startup entrepreneurs in Japan, they're just moving to San Francisco. And that's fine, and that's great. They should do that. However, if all the smartest people move away from Japan to San Francisco, that means that Japan is going to be a colony.
Not going to San Francisco or international country. Japan is enough to launch the new business. 声で届ける起業家の物語、スタートアップ Now MC のおいなりです。本日はスタートアップ Now 初めての挑戦といたしまして、海外のゲストと英語で対談をしてみたいと思っております。So let me switch to the English. Let's get started. Welcome to Startup Now. I'm your host, Kazuya Inarida. People call me Oinari. Today I invite the special guest, Antti Sonninen, CEO of Takeoff Tokyo. Thank you for coming today, Antti-san.
Thank you so much. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so honored to invite you. Could you introduce a bit yourself and Takeoff Tokyo also?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Finland, but I've been living in Tokyo for over 10 years. I came here in 2013 to start the Japan office of Angry Birds, the game. And through that, I got connected with the Japanese startup ecosystem. And then I noticed that foreign or the international and the Japanese ecosystem is not always talking to each other. So I hosted some meetups and opportunities for both sides to connect, and that led into me organizing a conference. I'm organizing a conference called Takeoff Tokyo right now, which is we're making it into a place where the next Sony or Toyota could be started.
So wonderful. And you said that you've been living in Japan over 10 years, so you must speak in Japanese also.
まあ、多少日本語も話せます。
多少じゃなくてペラペラと I heard that. But I will try in English, please. So.
Yeah, let's do it in English.
Thanks so much. And so before we dive into the takeoff, I would love to get to know about yourself more. So please tell me so I heard that you're from Finland, and in old days you've been in California also. So please let me know about this story.
So yes, I was born and initially living in Finland, and because of my family situation, we also lived in Menlo Park in Silicon Valley when I was small. And through that, I was exposed to a lot of English already before I went to school. And I wasn't living there permanently for a long time, but it was a few long business trips that my family was taking there. The other interesting thing about my childhood is that most of my family speaks Finnish, but one part of my family also speaks Swedish. So because of that, I was surrounded by 3 languages already before I was in school. And there was lots of situation where I was thinking, like, what are these people saying? But I then started picking up those languages.
So you also speak those of the language?
Yes.
Wow, wonderful. And the Japanese also. So super multilingual. So how many languages you speak?
I've studied maybe 9 in total,
wow.
But I can hold a conversation in 4.
Wow, so international. So. And you said that not so long time you stayed in California, right? But how long you stayed in?
It was maybe 3 different trips, but in total a year and a half.
Wow. So when did you back to Finland?
It was in elementary school. So, and yeah, but I've gone on shorter trips, not like several months, but a few weeks trips for many years, even after that. So I have a strong connection with California also.
And I want to know your past character when you were a kid. So let me know what did you absorb in, like play or like someone?
Yeah, it's a very nice question. I don't think I've ever answered this kind of question in an interview. But so in school, I usually had very good grades in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and also foreign languages.
Wow, cool.
And in the subjects where you needed to read a lot of books, I wasn't bad, but I was more like average in those, like, for example, history or geography or biology. And maybe there's also like some entrepreneurs in my family. They're not, nobody is like building like a tech company, but for example, most of my dad's family has like real estate businesses, and like in my mom's family, several people have had, like, for example, video studios or graphics design studios. So dad's family is kind of very sales type of entrepreneur family, and mom's family is kind of like an artist family.
Multi-talent. So your family is the entrepreneur. So you mean the business owner, but not tech industry.
Yeah. So for example, my dad and my grandfather, like they both have been running like a real estate company.
And in the old days, have you played any sports or the kind of?
I did multiple. I didn't do one sport for like whole my childhood, but I was doing some basketball, badminton, also kung fu, martial arts, and but yeah, once I got into university, I started running, swimming, and hitting the gym quite a lot.
Wow!
So it's recently when I do sports, it's more gym, running, and swimming.
For what?
To stay healthy and fit. We're just 2 days after the Takeoff Tokyo conference.
Yeah,
so in the last 2-3 months, maybe my sports hasn't been that regular, but now I have hopefully some more time to continue that.
Thank you. And so jump into the university era. So I heard that you came to Japan as an exchange student to the University of Tokyo.
Yeah.
So why did you choose this university?
So when I went to university, it was a whole new world after high school, and I thought that I want some working experience in another country, and I wanted to go to a country where not everybody speaks English. I wanted to learn a new language and be able to work in that language. So I went backpacking in the first summer vacation of university, and I decided to backpack as long as I find a country where I want to study. And then first went to Germany, and Germany was nice, but it was kind of similar to Finland.
Then we went similar culture.
Yeah, then we went to Spain. I was traveling with some friends, and Spain was a little bit more different, but maybe it's not different enough. And the third country was Japan. My friend was watching anime and wanted to go to Japan, and once we came here, everything was so different that we just decided both actually on the spot that we're going to study here. So 1 year later, I came to Todai, and my friend came to Waseda. So that was how I ended up here. I knew nothing about Japan before that, but I thought like, wow, this is such a new world and so interesting.
So you mean you couldn't speak Japanese at all?
Yeah. So when I came, like second year university student, I spoke zero.
Zero?
Yeah, zero.
Really?
And then I studied it a little bit in school and tried to speak and write it as much as I could, and just made like a ton of mistakes, and then through that could speak a bit more.
How did you try practicing speaking Japanese?
So my phone and my computer, I just changed all the settings into Japanese. And if somebody tried to speak to me in English, I ignored them and spoke back. I spoke back in Japanese everywhere. So it might have been a little bit annoying for some people to be around me, but like this kind of approach allowed me to improve quite fast.
Is that need any courage or confidence or like that? If I were you, it's difficult to act like you. So maybe I speak in English, the mother tongue or like that. So is there no fear about that? Fear to act like this?
Well, in the beginning, it felt a little bit painful because like I was going into many rooms and I felt like I'm looking like an idiot again. And then like, for example, my first career after graduating from university, I came to start the Japan office of Angry Birds, the game. And I remember when we did like a press conference with that, then I needed to give a statement to press in Japanese or write very important business emails. And then once I look at my emails later, like, oh, this is so embarrassing mistake. So it was quite painful in the beginning, but I decided like I'm not going to give up until I can do it. And now, no problem.
No problem. Thank you. I was encouraged to speak English also. And until you were studying in university, you started your own business. I heard that. Yeah.
So I didn't start a company during my university time, but I started a company when I left Angry Birds, and that was 2014. There was a company here in Japan, and it wasn't really the goal wasn't yet to build something huge, but for example, me as a foreigner, I needed a visa in Japan. So to do that as an entrepreneur, you need to have a company first, and so I did some smaller consulting projects and things like that, but it was mostly just a way for me to stay here, and so I could do the other things that I wanted to. And my first career was the Angry Birds game company, and then later I was, for example, I was in a Japanese hardware startup for half a year, and then I was also building this Slush Tokyo conference where I learned a lot about events during that time. So when I was doing many projects, because I had my own company, that was the simple way to keep a visa.
I got it. But I heard that before joining the company of Angry Birds, you started the own business that provide a SNS platforms for social area.
Yes,
that's
tell me
more
true.
about this.
Yeah, so this was a short project I did in 2000, I think. 12, 1 year before coming to Japan. We went to this hackathon in Aalto University. It was hosted by Garage 48, which is a famous Estonian hackathon organizer. They visited Finland to host Garage 48 hackathon. And my team, we won the prize for that. There was this one lady who had studied development aid. In Japanese, you say kaihatsu enjo. And she had found out that there's a lot of projects that overlap. And for example, if one group brings malaria vaccine, then next year you don't need to bring the same vaccine again necessarily. But most countries, for example, Japanese NGO and French NGO, they don't always know what each other is doing. So we were building this kind of social media, kind of like a Twitter on the map, where you can see that, hey, we already did malaria vaccination here, so you don't need to do it next year anymore. So we won the hackathon, and we also got, I think, 20,000 euros. So that's 400 万 in Japanese money. 4 million yen. 4 million yen. So we got that kind of the university gave us a grant. It was free money for us to build that. I was doing that at the same time when like Angry Birds started like inviting me there. In the middle, I wasn't the CEO of that project, but I was working on the product design at then. And then when the Angry Birds opportunity came up, I just went all into that.
So was that project succeeding?
So I've checked the project. It doesn't seem active right now. I also see that the CEO at the time is now has a different company right now. Still an entrepreneur, but it looks like it's not active right now.
I got it. So why did the company of Angry Birds invite you as a head of Japan?
So I was just like a market research intern first. And that was when Angry Birds was maybe 50 people and it had maybe 1 million downloads. It was still quite a lot, but it was starting to grow really fast. And then once it just started growing and growing, and there was like suddenly 100 million downloads instead of 1 million. And the company needed several different offices around the world to do business development. There was one in Shanghai and Los Angeles, for example. And then the management thought that we need an office in Tokyo as well. And then they thought that, hey, you speak Japanese, right? Can you move there, please, and build the office? So that was the start.
But it was so huge, the big challenge for you. But so is there any difficulty to own the Japanese branch, or run the business?
There was many interesting moments. For example, when I moved there, I was asking the legal department that, can you help me arrange an apartment and can you help me arrange a visa? And then they were saying that you are the Japan expert. We don't know. You tell us what we should do. And also, we're so busy now making the contract about the Angry Birds movie that they just said that, hey, you're a smart person. You'll figure it out yourself. Just go and tell us what to do. So I came to Japan, and first I was in a hotel. Then I realized that, hey, hotel is a bit expensive. So I went to like a serviced apartment, weekly mansion. Because after that, I tried to get a visa and a resident card. When I was asking for a visa, they said that please show us your address, like of a real apartment, not like serviced apartment. And then I said that I don't have an apartment yet. And they're like, well, go get one. And then I went to rent an apartment, and then they said that show me your visa. I said that I don't have a visa because I don't have an apartment.
So which is first,
so I thought like this is very weird, like which came first, the chicken or the egg. So what I did in the end is I found like a rich friend, and I convinced them to buy an apartment in Ebisu.
Wow.
Saying that like
Japanese friend or the
foreign friend, like an investment banker friend. And, and I said that the Olympics are probably coming to Tokyo, so you should buy real estate right now. And then they're like, really? Okay. And then they bought the house, and then like after buying it, you should, rent it to someone like really trustworthy person. Like, and by the way, I'm looking for a house. So then they said that, like, okay. So maybe 3-4 weeks after that discussion, I was living in the house that they bought.
Wow. Amazing.
And then I happily got the visa. But there's no correct answer how to solve that.
Yeah.
So like when I came here, there's so many situations like that.
And through the experience of running the Angry Birds company, what did you learn?
There's many things, I guess. I had done some sales before in my career, but like I started doing a little bit more sales during that time. And I noticed that selling things is not easy in the beginning, but it can be easy with the right approach. So I learned a lot about that. It was also the first time that I was recruiting a team. We recruited a team of 5 to work on the Japan market, marketing people, account management people, game producer people, social media, and learned a little bit about that. One thing also to build my network, because I could speak some Japanese because of studying and learning, but I noticed that to sell you need a lot of important friends. So to get important friends, I just started going to every single event I could find. And I noticed that if you go to an event that is happening in English, there's usually no Japanese there.
Yeah.
And if you go to an event in Japanese, I'm usually the only foreigner. So, and the funny thing was that because I was bringing Angry Birds to Japan, and then at the same time, like for example, Supercell, Clash of Clans, that game company, their CEO called me like, "Hey, can you teach me how to go to the Japanese market? I want to learn from Angry Birds." And that was very interesting. And also like Candy Crush, King, the Swedish company, they were also like, "Hey, how are you doing it?" And there's all these foreign game companies were like, "How can we be big in Japan?"
Yeah.
And I remember going to this izakaya meeting where there were so many foreign game companies. I think it was in Meguro. And when I went there, they were all saying like it's too hard to enter Japan. And I noticed that there's not many Japanese people in the room. I thought like, maybe it's easier if you have some Japanese friends. And then I went to this separately to this Japanese game industry year-end party, like Daibonenkai, they were calling it. I met the producer of Puzzle and Dragons, Pazudora.
So famous.
Yeah, they booked a meeting with us, and they was like, "Can you teach us how to be big in USA or Europe? We have a team in US, but we don't have much sales in USA. How does Angry Bird do it?" And then we went to meet them, and I just noticed that their approach was like too difficult. I felt like they had a completely different team making a new game. And the original team had no contact with the US game, and they were translating everything, and it just felt too difficult. So I thought that those foreign game companies trying to come to Japan and those Japanese game companies going abroad, I felt it's so silly that they don't talk to each other. They're both like, "What can we do? What can we do?" And then because they were so stuck, there was this kind of market entry consultant or global expansion consultant who were like charging lots of money from both companies. Like, yeah, we will teach you how to do other countries or how to do Japan. And I thought like, well, if you just stop being afraid of each other and hang out in the same room, you don't have to pay these consultants so much. So that's the moment when I started getting more interested in organizing events, because I felt that it's this necessary infrastructure for the future of Japan. If you don't have that, like, how are you going to build the next Nintendo in the game industry? But then after I noticed that this problem exists also outside the game industry, it's like in every industry in Japan.
Yeah, great. And maybe those of the company wanted to hire you, isn't it?
Yeah, there's many kind of opportunities like that. And I noticed that if you're a bilingual foreigner or Japanese in Japan, you can easily do this head of something Japan kind of. I became friends with the country manager of Uber or Airbnb or like Coinbase or companies like that. And I noticed that it's the same group of people that goes around in those jobs. And I was also thinking that what happened if this kind of talent was also building, I don't know, something like Japan originating companies also. Like I felt like the Japanese-based startups were usually like not having as globally skillful people working for them.
Yeah. After that, you quit the company of Angry Birds and started to work for the hardware company. I think that software company and hardware company is so different. So is there any tough situation you felt?
Yeah. So during Angry Birds, I learned how to sell foreign stuff in Japan. And it was this Japanese company called Beatrobo. They had just raised a Series A from Lawson. And they were making this hardware gadget that allows you to store like Spotify playlists. It's like a USB for the phone.
Yeah.
And those guys, they wanted to sell it abroad. And when they were selling it abroad, they thought that, okay, they need to have some people working who have been with an international company. So that's how I ended up there. Yeah, hardware was one thing, but like I think it was the biggest difference for me was like selling something Japanese to the world this time, as like I was the first non-Japanese employee there.
After that, you start to work for the Slush Asia. Yeah, tell me more about this.
So in 2013, when I was came to Japan, I noticed that in Finland there's this new student startup boom happening that was started in my university, Aalto University, and it was happening. Basically, this company called Nokia that used to have half of the phones in the whole world were made by Nokia. And after iPhone came out, Nokia's market share went down. And because at one point, GDP of Finland, like 3% of that was Nokia or something like crazy number.
Crazy.
And so when it started having trouble, like the country got very negative, and my parents and my grandparents' generation, they were like, oh, this is like game over for the country. But then young people felt that, hey, we need to change this. And especially in my university, Aalto University, students thought that, hey, crying is not going to help. You need to do something. And there's many things that started through that. And Slush was one of those projects. It was a conference that aimed to bring all the important investors and entrepreneurs from other countries to Finland. And that will help create the next Nokia at the time. And students were so determined to build that. And when that was like starting to grow, I had just moved to Japan to build Angry Birds. So I felt that, hey, Japan needs this kind of young energy as well. And when I went to all these events, I found that foreigners and Japanese are not talking, but I also found out that there's no events organized by young people.
Yeah.
And I went to some events with some like student organization as well, and I felt like they were treated a little bit like kids. So I thought that there should be some organization where young people are building the future of Japan, and that's how I ended up then working on this Slush Tokyo project. I was just on a business trip to Finland with some Japanese entrepreneurs, and they seemed to like it. And then I suggested them, like, hey, let's build something like Slush Tokyo. And many of them were like really supportive. And one of the people who was supportive at that time when I told it to, like, for example, Sanada-san, the founder of Kurabu, the game company. I was also talking about it to Mikitani-san, the founder of Rakuten, and Namba Tomoko-san, DNA, and Son Taizo-san. And out of these people, Son Taizo-san, he said that, hey, I will help you.
Wow.
Let's work on it together. So that's how Slush Tokyo started.
So why Taizo-san helped a lot?
It's maybe his personality. He also felt very moved by what he saw in Finland. He was a speaker there, and we were having dinner in Helsinki at the time. But I think he really enjoyed the energy there, and maybe he was also looking for a place where there could be like braver young people in Japan. I have a feeling like he was searching for something like that for a long time, but he thought that it's maybe impossible or it can't be done. And then he felt like a lot of hope, I guess, through seeing that in Finland, and then me suggesting that to him. And I think that's why he got interested.
How many people did come the first Slush Asia in Japan?
Around 2,000.
Wow, so many.
Yeah.
How did it invite so many persons?
We had just returned from Helsinki from the Slush event, and there were so many people interested in what is happening in Finland. And then because both I had been talking about it online, and Taizo and like many others have been talking about it online, then once we made the announcement, it was very exciting news for a minute, like, oh, wow, so now that thing is coming here. That's so exciting. And then I was also able to, I called a student CEO of Slush that, hey, why don't you come here? And he came here, and through him, we were able to get some of the speakers in Helsinki. Also, because I was friends with the Supercell CEO, I also called him that, hey, why don't you fly to Tokyo And one reason why Taiso liked Slush is because he had invested into Supercell.
Oh,
so
really?
I told Taiso that, hey, I can bring the Supercell CEO here. And then I told the Supercell CEO, like, hey, you can meet Taiso there. They already knew each other, but they thought it was a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they both wanted to do it. And suddenly there was like so much momentum on both Finland and Japan side.
Okay, and how many times did you hold the Slush Asia in Japan?
Slush Asia, and later it changed name to Slush Tokyo. It was organized last time 2019. And it basically during Corona the project went on a break.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very unique organization. Like in the end, most of the organizers were students. Also, I was CEO for the first 4 events until 2018. And 2019, I picked one of my core team members who was a student to become like a successor CEO. And she was able to do the 2019 event as well. And we were like still too young of an organization to figure out how to go do Corona when Corona happened. So the project went on a break. And in 2022, 2023, we got active again in community building.
Yeah. So after finish the holiday slash Japan, there is maybe there are 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So before you started Takeoff Tokyo. So what did you do in this 期間?
So during Corona, there's a lot of foreign startups and companies that really wanted to be in Japan, but there was the border was closed, so you can't go. So they were like, "Hey, we need some help in Japan. Can you help us?" And so I brought maybe 3-4 different SaaS companies to Japan during Corona. Also some non-SaaS companies. I also helped bring, for example, a company called Volt. We were started by the Slush founders. This food delivery company. But I brought several European companies to Japan because they couldn't come here.
Mm-hmm. Even in this time, you keep having passion to conference or startup ecosystem?
Kind of, yes. I was also at the same time thinking like, what is the calling, or what should I do with my career? And I noticed that during Corona, there's also a lot of people saying like, I hope something like that can come back again. And actually, even some of our sponsors who had paid us money, they were saying like, hey, do something again. We're going to pay you.
Wow. Who said that?
Yeah, I guess we don't have any NDAs, so I can say. But like, for example, the CEO of Stripe Japan, Daniel, he said that like, you need to do this again. But he's just one. And he did actually sponsor Takeoff Tokyo when we started. And but there was quite many people also like Shibuya Startup Support. They were saying like, hey, can you do something again, please? We're all waiting. And I just kept thinking like, what if? And I said like, I feel like if I don't do something now, I'm going to think for the rest of my life, like, why didn't I do it? Kind of a thing. It wasn't like obvious, like how things are going to play out, but somehow a lot of people wanted me to do it. So I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I want to know why did you decide to launch Takeoff Tokyo, not Slush Japan again?
So we learned so much through Slush. We organized all of our events in English, so we learned how that works. We also got students in the organizing. We got so many great experience through that. One thing, in the end, the last Slush Tokyo event was 6,000 people, and the sales was maybe, I don't know, $2 million.
Wow.
And we got so far, but we noticed also that we were not free to do what we want with the brand because it was owned by the original Helsinki event owner all the rights. They were very flexible and friendly to us. So they let us do quite many things. But like, for example, I haven't said this in public many times, but the original reason why Slush Asia name was changed to Slush Tokyo is because one morning we just wake up and look at our own website and it says Slush Tokyo instead of Slush. We were like, what is happening? Did somebody hack us? And then we noticed that the marketing team in Helsinki, somebody had just decided that, hey, maybe that's a good idea. So we just called, we were like, some of my sponsors were asking like, why are you changing the name without telling us, or, for example? So they were very nice, but they kind of treated it as their own thing. And so we thought that going with something original, if it's going to be big again, it's like, it helps having a famous name in the beginning. But if you grow big, then it's actually better to have something independent.
But I think it is very easy to we try to hold a conference as a Slush Japan. So maybe I what I want to say is it's very difficult to build a new brand from scratch. So how do you think that this?
There's also another thing that we were saying. We were looking at like some of the people who graduated from Slush Tokyo. We were thinking that we want to have more entrepreneurs in the alumni. And I was telling like some of the bilingual talent that we had raised that, hey, don't go work in the Japan office of a famous foreign company. You should start instead of starting the Japan branch of something famous, you should start a new company in Japan and make that into the next Sony and Toyota. And then people looked at me with like a smile and said like, why do you say that to me, Mr. Slush Tokyo?
Mr. Slush Tokyo.
So we brought something from Finland. We thought that we're building something original from Japan, but people thought it like, oh, it's like something from Finland in Japan. And so we thought like, okay, if we really want to see the next Sonys and Toyotas out of Japan, we need to do the same ourselves. So that was like a big aha moment also.
Wow. So inspiring. And so I want to know the origin, like the why did you decide the name of the Takeoff Tokyo?
So in 2022, when we started thinking about it, when, for example, Daniel from Stripe said that, hey, please do something, or many things, we were thinking like, what is the problem? And we thought that when I came to Japan, for example, the government didn't care about startups, but suddenly after Corona, I felt like all governments, local governments, everybody cares about startups now, and everyone needs to have a startup strategy, and every large company now has a CVC, and it's kind of, when I came to Japan, nobody cared about startups, and I felt like after Corona, everybody cares about startups. But I thought also like, I was looked at this Japan fundraising ranking, how much money all startups in Japan got each year. And it's going up every year until 22. And when I was looking at it, 22, it's going up. But then there's this graph where you look at like the top 100 companies in the world. And if you look at the first year of Heisei, 89, 50% of the top 100 companies were Japanese. But in 2023, when we started Takeoff Tokyo, there was only Toyota and another company. Two. So it used to be 50 companies in top 100, and then there was suddenly only two. So we thought that if people are just looking at the fundraising graph, it's going up, but the global standing is going down. Like it looks like this ship is sinking. I felt like everyone who's celebrating on social media, like, Japan ecosystem is doing it. Like I thought, like, where is the next like global success story? So it felt like this is like somebody built like a new airport, like a brand new Haneda airport, but there's no international terminal.
Wow.
I thought like, why do you celebrate like, we have the best airport, but you can only fly to another city in Japan? Like, what's cool about that? And I thought like, nobody's building the international terminal startups. So then we're like, okay, so we are the international terminal startups. And then we thought of a few different patterns. And we realized that there should be a place where people get the skills and the courage to challenge for the whole world, not only Japan. And the thing is that Japan is included in the whole world. So it doesn't mean that you need to abandon Japan.
Yeah, so interesting. And in this year, I attended the Takeoff Tokyo for 2 or 3 days, including opening party. Yeah, that was amazing. There are many famous and popular capitalists and entrepreneurs, international entrepreneurs came to Japan. I want to know why. What they expect Japan. So why did you come to Japan? So what is their aim for?
So during Corona in 2022, Japan became the #1 popular tourist destination in the world. Why? Well, food quality is really good. It's safe. It's clean. Things just work in Japan. And that has been true for a long time. But for example, during Corona or after Corona, for example, I started seeing a lot of investors coming from USA to Japan, for example. And they were saying that like politics is going crazy and like there's like riots, there's like wars, and like people are playing all kinds of like social games. And then like Japan seemed like more down to earth and like common sense. So, and safe, clean, and like tasty. So there's so many things to like about Japan, I guess. Also, I think the yen is a little bit weak recently, so Japan was more affordable than before. But I think I've been here for more than 10 years, and there's many things I like about Japan. And I think a lot of other people are just starting to realize that, hey, Japan is pretty cool. So that's one reason why they're coming. But it's been more like a tourist trip here. And like people have been, the reason why we also organized this business conference or startup conference is because if you want to beat Silicon Valley at its own game, you need to have a place where all the smartest people want to be, and not only on a vacation, but also work. So if you want to work and build like the next world-conquering company from here, you need to have ambition. Everybody in Silicon Valley believes that they are best in the world. And like if you walk around in Tokyo or other cities in Tokyo, not everybody thinks like that. So we want to build a place where it's okay to think that you can be #1 in the world. It's not going to be easy, but like the first step is like thinking you can do it. And 2, there's so much funding money in Silicon Valley that the startups get. For example, OpenAI or XAI, I think they both raised over $10 billion.
Yeah, incredible.
In just one funding round. And I think all of Japanese startup ecosystem fundraising last year was maybe 6 billion or 5 billion. So one company with one round raised more than all startups in a year combined. So to build legendary companies from Japan, there needs to be a lot more money here. But it starts with ambition. If there's ambitious founders here, then all the money in the world is going to come here. You can't bring money first if there's nothing interesting to invest in. So, and thirdly, you need talent. You need like people who can build the next legendary company. You need great product builders, but also great marketers and sellers.
I love to hear that. And I saw in the conference, there are many student volunteer.
Yeah.
How many volunteer you involved?
I think we had 250 applications, and out of those, maybe we worked together with 150. So
that's so many.
Yeah.
How to involve and manage them and motivate them?
So how to motivate? One, you need to have like something worth working on. So that if the vision is interesting, then that's the first step. And like, for example, saying that like it's okay to be ambitious in Japan, young people love it the most because they're like, I'm tired that my parents' generation is like giving up on Japan or something. And if they feel like that, they're just going to move into another country. Like also like a lot of the talented startup entrepreneurs in Japan, they're just moving to San Francisco. And that's fine. And that's great. They should do that. However, if all the smartest people move away from Japan to San Francisco, that means that Japan is going to be a colony, basically. So somebody needs to build some great companies here as well. I guess sending the great people to San Francisco is a first step because some of them will come back. Not everybody, but it also helps to have friends there. But like young people understand this better than anyone, and they're like, I want to have a life worth living. Like they don't want to waste their life in a place where there's no ambition. So that's why they can't get enough of that. Like, hey, finally someone who believes in Japan, kind of a thing. And that motivates them, I think.
So you think that the most of the entrepreneurs start their business in Japan enough, so not going to San Francisco or international country. So Japan is enough to launch their new business.
So, like my first job was at Angry Birds company, Rovio, and it was number one in the game was number one in most of the world, and the headquarters was in Finland. But all the people were on the airplane all the time. All the CXOs were flying. I was flying, and HQ headquarters was in Finland, but we were everywhere. Silicon Valley, Asia, everything. And that's the kind of star companies I want to increase here. Headquarters is here, but it's okay to be on the airplane all the time. It's like I'm not trying to start a travel agency or anything like that, but it's kind of, I can't build an ambitious company in Tokyo. It's an excuse. Of course, many times it's the fastest way. If everyone else is not ambitious around you, if you're the most ambitious person in Tokyo and you're surrounded by people who are totally non-ambitious, you're just wasting your time. But if all the talented people do that, there isn't much future. So I'm trying to build a reason for the most talented people to build from here as well.
Yeah, maybe everyone wants to know why you have so ambitious to Japan, the startup ecosystem. So why do you have so much passion to the startup or to Japan?
I feel like I have X-ray glasses.
What do you mean?
Rentogen megane. Kind of. I feel like I can see some things that other people don't. I saw, for example, how this kind of young people's startup mindset changed. It created this revolution in Finland. And I see the same things possible in Japan. And I feel like a lot of people have kind of I feel both the young people and the old people have kind of given up on young people in Japan. And I feel like I saw how it works in Finland and how it can change the whole society. And it can go through a project like this. I feel like I'm traveling from the future and I see what is going to happen anyway at some point, and I just want to make it happen. It feels almost like a responsibility to do it if you're the only one who can see it.
Yeah, interesting. And but is there any problem Japanese ecosystem have? What I mean is So in the decade, you saw the many things in the Japanese ecosystem, Japanese startup ecosystem, but the situation is rapidly changed, and even now there are many problems in this ecosystem. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think we just need more ambition. I keep saying the same word, but there's a lot more startup support and attention recently, but it's mostly governments are putting more tax money. Governments are handing out so much tax money to all these different consulting companies and many other companies. That will help a little bit. but also, like for example, the government and consulting companies, they're not going to start companies. So the focus needs to be on people who are ambitious and are actually going to start companies, and that's why that's one of the things that is very much needed. Giving more tax money is not the answer, I think.
So this is the exact role of Takeoff Tokyo. So inspire many young founders, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And but so I want to know more about this is the first time to hold the Takeoff Tokyo in Japan, right? No?
We did the first one in 23. We did the first one 3 years ago.
Oh yeah. And so third time,
yes,
time?
Fourth time.
First time. So what's the difference the first time and then now? So do you have any progress or do you have many challenges until now?
So the progress we've made in this time is that we're starting to have a little bit of a community and a little bit of like different generations in the organization team, for example. When we did our event this week, a lot of the people who used to be in the team came to help us, for example. And if you look at also not only inside but on the outside, the startups and investors, for example, we've been able to help more and more investment deals happen each year. Let's see how many deals we'll be able to make through this one. It's still too early to say, but for example, in the past years, every year the amount of investment deals that happened through us has increased. And I think, there was several deals last year. I'd like to 10x or maybe 20x that. We should have like 100 new deals happening at our event. And but yeah, we're not the most famous startup event in the world yet, and there's no next Sony or Toyota, so we're maybe 2% done. Still 98% to go.
So how to break the world? The how to become the world popular conference, the Takeoff Tokyo?
We just need to have the best people in the startup world joining us each year, and we should make the experience also so that it's better than they've ever seen. Japan during cherry blossom time is a really nice place to be. There's a lot of people who come here anyway, and we like organizing something in the Japanese March springtime. It's a time of change, and I think, for example, if you go to Singapore in September when they have Formula One, they have F1. During that, they have like so many different business events as well. We want to build like a series of all of these startup world happenings around the March season with the cherry blossoms and everything like that. I think the whole world should visit here during that time.
I want to know more about what Takeoff Tokyo aim for, so the vision and what will you do in the future to this startup ecosystem? So
me personally, I'm doing this so that I can build something that helps the ecosystem, and when the timing is right, I'd like to be building one of those companies myself. We're still too early right now, but sometime hopefully soon, like I could be also like contributing as an entrepreneur, building one of the next Sonys or Toyotas. But I want this team to be a launch pad where like all the legendary companies are somehow people can start the legendary company elsewhere. It doesn't have to be in our team, but I'd like this team to create a lot of legendary stories like that. There's another school in history of Japan called Shoka Sonjuku.
And
that school created the first 4 prime ministers of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And it also opened up the borders during Sakoku.
Yeah.
So, and all of those people who studied in that school, they also studied in Europe when it was still banned. There's this Japanese word called mikko, like traveling secretly when nobody knows during Sakoku to travel to Europe and learn from the best. And that's why, for example, the first prime minister of Japan, Ito Hirobumi, he spoke okay English because of that, because he secretly went to Europe. But the funny thing is, those people became the first prime ministers of Japan, and they also built all these legendary companies like Mitsubishi and all the other trade companies. So if we're able to somehow open up the physical borders of Japan already opened, but the mental borders, once we can open the mental borders, that's going to create the next Mitsubishis of this country. And I think the people who build Takeoff Tokyo will have a front row seat in building all of those.
So maybe everyone think like that, but still can't open their mind. How to open the mind? So relieve the mental block.
So seeing is believing. It takes a long time to explain stuff, but if you just see something, you can immediately understand that, hey, that's why it's so good or important. So that's one reason why we're organizing a physical event. And the physical event should be like even a lot better and like greater quality and like bigger in many ways. And it should be just like such a strong experience that you immediately believe after that. Like, for example, when you have Japanese university students showing you around or helping you with the event, all like, for example, salarymen who are worried about their English, once they see like a young Japanese person speaking English, then they're a little bit embarrassed. Like, if the younger people can do it, like, why is it so hard for me? And then like, okay, I'll try my best from tomorrow. So that's what we hope to create, like this perfect 2, 3, 4 days, like this short period when everything is perfect and everything works. And then it gives hope to people for another whole year.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I happened to in this Takeoff Tokyo. Yeah, if there is you don't hold Takeoff Tokyo, maybe I will never try the English interview. So thank you so much.
Happy to hear it worked.
Yeah, I want to ask more much question, but time has come. So, is there any message to the listeners? So, especially for the younger generation who build the next era.
It's okay to be ambitious. So let's build the best place to start a company.
That's all?
That's the most important part of my message.
Yeah.
We can't do all of this alone. So we want everybody to join us.
Yes. I hope there are people who watch this video or listen to the podcast. I will meet them in the next Takeoff Tokyo.
Yes.
Next year. Yeah. I put the links of Antti さん or the Takeoff Tokyo on the これね、名前忘れちゃうんですよね。YouTube の概要欄。
Yeah. Our YouTube out page.
Out page. I put the link. So you should check it out. Yeah. And follow the X account or watch some cool movie. Yeah. You made it. And if you're satisfied, enjoy this video, please subscribe the YouTube account in this startup now. and this is my first time to release the English content, so I would love to get many feedback. If there is a good, I want to try more. And I believe the English content is necessary for the English startup scene. So I'm very honored to invite as a first guest.
I'm very honored that you wanted to have us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the listeners also. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
じゃあ終了です。ありがとうございます。 じゃあ軽いなんかラップアップ的な感じで、
もう始まっ
もう始まってる。一応パンしていこうかな。はい。
初英語インタビューどうでした？
いやー、なんかずっとお腹痛かったですね。
ちょっと逆インタビュー始まっちゃった。
確かに。アンティさんがどれだけ日本語が流暢かっていうのをね、みんなに知ってもらいたいなと思って、今このラップアップを取ってるわけなんですけど、今回はちょっと僕が英語トライしたいっていうことで英語でやらせてもらいましたけど、で今のコンテンツも全部日本語でいけますよね、多分ね。
まあ、全然できると言いたいんですけど。
はい。と言いたいんですけど、いや、まあできそうですね。
よくこういう話、日本語でも全然してるので。なんか今回こういうインタビューを英語でやりたいことに対する意義とか、そういうなんかすごいそれに対して逆にこれまた逆インタビュー続く
逆インタビューしてくれるんですか？
なんかすごいなんかパッションを感じたのはなぜそんないいなと思ってくれたんですか？
いや僕もともとこのメディアを始めた理由がもうスタートアップがあまりにも好きすぎる。で起業家は本当にリスペクトしてる。でもスタートアップのメディアって昔に比べてちょっと減ってきちゃったりしてると思うんですよね。だから彼らが資金調達とかしてもそれをブーストしてあげられるような機能が足りてないと思ってて、で僕はそれをやりたいっていう強い意志があるし、なんかエコシステムとしてもこの機能は足りてないんじゃないかと勝手ながら思ったりもしている、まさにカンファレンスとかと同じだと思うんですけど、で中で特にこの近年はいろんな VC の投資トレンドとかは国の方針とか見ててもやっぱGoグローバルとかインターナショナルにビジネスやるのって本当に必要不可欠になってるじゃないですか。
さっきも言えなかったけど、それみんな言うのが大好きなんだけど、じゃあなんかそのGoグローバルってみんな言葉で言うんだけど、じゃあ東南英語でどうぞとかって、すいませんちょうど予定埋まっちゃっててとかってとかX でなんか毎朝2時間英語のシャドーイングやってるんですけどとかってそこに日本語通じない秘書を一人雇ったらすぐ流暢になれると思いますよとかって言うとなんかなぜか横からめっちゃいいねがつくんだけど、本人からコメントが急に来なくなる。
日本人らしいですね。
なんかそこをなんかそれめっちゃ頑張ってるよっていうアピールをする人もいれば、なんかその頑張ってるっていうところをなんか本質的な何かにも、一番切り替えられたらエコシステムとしてなんか強くなれる気がして。
そうですね。多分今の方々ってどっちかっていうと僕よりも年次が高い方々が多い気がするので、あんまりなんか多くは語れないですけど僕はでも今回やっぱりちょっとそういう背中を見せたいなみたいな思いもあって、なぜならば僕自身は起業家としてこのメディアをやっているし、誰よりも起業家に近い存在でありたいと思ってこのメディアをやってて、で彼らが今 Go グローバルに挑戦しているのであれば僕自身も Go グローバルにメディアをやるべきだ。
負けないぞって見せてそれ大事。
そうですね。だから僕も本当に去年のIVS とかそれこそ行ってるんですけど、実はグローバルエリアとか一回も行ったことなくて、自分はあんま話せないだろうっていう前提で行ってもなんか交流してもなんか
テイクオフ東京に通訳置いてないっていうのは理由がまさにそれ、通訳とかしてあげた時点でそれなんかはいそうだ私は英語できないキャラだったんだ、ちゃんと
いてくれて嬉しいよかったって
レシーバーをちょっと耳に入れましょうねとかってなるんだけど、そういうもうはい君はできるっていう決めつけから始めちゃうのはテイクオフ東京。
もう今回体感ができたんで、
それは別にみんな完璧に流暢じゃないしなんだけど、そのトライする姿勢が全て、別に 100% できなくてもとりあえずやりましょうみたいな姿勢が日本のスタートアップのグローバル展開に一番みんなに伸ばしてほしい。
まさに僕もとはいえABS で悔しい思いをしたんで、なんかこの半年間結構英語勉強してきたんですよ。でも、いつか海外のゲスト呼びたいなって思ってたんですよね。でちゃんとコーチとかに聞くとこれいつぐらいからそういうのできますかねって聞いたら、多分早くて3年後とかじゃないですかねみたいな話をもらって、
そんな数ヶ月間あれば OK。
いやそうで結論そうだったと思ってて僕は今回本当は3年後とか言われて、やっぱそうなるとやっぱロングタームだからあんまりモチベーションが湧かないかったんですけど、いやなんかこれ機会をやっぱ作っちゃえばどうにか間に合わせるだろうっていうまさに起業家精神というか。
日本語を初めて学んだのは、大学2年生の大学2年生の時だったから、 それをいやでも英語難しいとかっていやでも小学校から学んでるでしょ、こっちは20歳になってからそもそも日本語を学んでるから、今日本語で喋れてるじゃん、はい、あなたのできない理由は何でしたっけ。
いやいや苦しいけどでも まさにですねね
やればできる。
いやと僕も今回感じましたし、これを聞いてる方々にもね伝えられたら、ちょっとおせっかいというかねあれですけど、でやっぱそれで少し一人でも変わっていったらやっぱその連鎖って続くじゃないですか、まさに僕それこそこの収録始まる前にも伝えたんですけど、テイクオフ東京の学生とか、スタートアップチームのねヘッドやってるケンさんがねいますけど、今日も来てくれてますけど、僕前にケンさんに別のイベントで会って、なんか僕全然英語喋れなかったのに今めっちゃ喋れるんですよみたいな話をしてもらって、でなんでですかって聞いたら、本当にもうただひたすら使いまくったからみたいな話をして、で僕それで X でつながって、で彼が本当に海外めっちゃ行っていろんなすごい人となんかショートインタビューをね自撮り撮ってるのを、やっぱつながってたから見続けたわけで、なんか正直結構嫉妬したんですよね。いいなっていうかすごいなみたいな。で僕今30手前ぐらいなんですよ、29なんですけど、やっぱちょっともうちょっと若いし、やっぱ若い人すごいなみたいな、おじさんみたいな気持ちになっちゃってて、
まさにその効果をねこのチーム構成でも狙ってます。
いや本当にね、
なんかそういう年下にそんなに抜かれる悔しいな、いや負けないぞって、
それをちょっとまさに感じて、やっぱ爆発なんだなっていうのを彼を見て学んだんで、そうまさにちょっとこれをやってみて、ちょっとこれをね第1回としてちゃんと続いていけるように頑張りたいなと思いますし、それこそアンティさんもいろんな海外ゲスト、それこそ日本の情報発信に強めたい方も中にはいるかもしれないんで、ぜひなんか呼んできていただいて、
いろんな人、紹介します。
ぜひお願いしたいし、定期的に、ミニマム月1でも英語ゲストを呼びたいですし、もしそれが本当に反響がいいんだったらもうそれ中心のコンテンツにね場合によってはしてもいいかもしれないし、なんかいろんな展開考えたいなと思ってるんで、すいません、なんかアンティさんがどれだけ日本語流暢かっていうのをやりたかったのにほとんど僕が喋っちゃってすごい回して
いや多分このまとめの裏のバージョンを出したらそれで十分に伝わるんじゃないかなと。
いやそうですね。いや本当にすごい羨ましいなって思うけどそうじゃないですね。僕もこうなれるということで、ちょっとずつ頑張りたいなと思います。あとなんか、収録はちなみにどうでしたか？なんかやってみて1時間ぐらい一緒に話させていただきました。
いや楽しかった。あとあんまり子供の頃の話とかあんまり聞かれないんで、なんだけどよく考えたら今こういう活動をやってる理由は全部そこにあって、例えば小さい頃からいろんな言語とかの通じない場面たくさんあったし、あと両親の家庭がなんかビジネス家庭とアート家庭に分かれてて、もう同じフィンランドの中でも同時通訳を小さい頃からやってるから、なんかそういうどうやってこの2つの全然違うグループを仲良くさせるかっていうことはその話をこっちからできる機会あるともっと納得しやすい、なんでこんなことやってるのかっていうのはあるから嬉しかったです。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。まさにスタートアップナウが目指しているものというか感じていただいて、ゆえに結構このロングインタビューをねやりたいなって思ってて、なかなか20分30分のコンテンツだと一問一答で終わっちゃうし、過去の話そんな深掘れないじゃないですか、
ですね。
けどなんか絶対続いてるものがあるなと思ってやってるんで、それを体感してもらえてめっちゃ嬉しいです。
確かにジョー・ローガンとかは3時間とかもやっちゃう人とかも
やってますね。どうなんでしょうね。ちょっと日本3時間耐えられるのかなっていうのはまだわからないですけど、でもいけるのかな。
他になんか数時間のポッドキャストあるんでしたっけ？スタートアップにはない？い
や、だから1個だけあるんですよ。最近その伝説ラジオ、ね、
そっか
めちゃめちゃ、ね、彼のことはすごいなと思って、僕も愛聴してますし、すごいなと思いながら、ちょっと負けないぞと思いながらね、やってますけど、だからね、やりようはいくらでもあることが分かったし、それこそ今日今収録してるのがオープン AI が TBPN を買収したのを発表した日、彼はポッドキャストよりかはライブストリーミングの方がね、うまく使われてると思いますけど、もしかしたら僕ももっとライブストリーミングやった方がいいかもしれないですし、とかなんかいろいろ可能性が見えてきてるタイミングだなと思うんで、英語も使いつついろんなライブストリーミングしつつ、で今日も夜もテイクオフ東京で登壇されてた甲斐さん、ボイスオイスの甲斐さんが主催されてるハッカソンに僕ちょっとインタビューしに行くというか、現地取材、
2週間前にビルダースウィーケンドってハッカソンは私たちでもやったんですけど、そこにこれキーボード禁止の音声だけの やつやったらとかって言ったら、それやっと形になったのはちょっとだけ嬉しい。
そうなんですね。わ、すごい。
ここで、ビルダースウィーケンドにもやってって言ったんだけど、その時準備が間に合わなかったので。
そうですよね。いや、すごい。いろんな、チャンスを配ってるというかね。テイクオフ東京が特にその若い世代というか次の世代の方々にやってるなって思ったんで、僕もその仲間入りをしてどんどん活躍していきたいなと思うし、そういう彼らをよりピックしていきたいなとも思ってるんで、カンファレンスとメディアという形でお互い頑張って
もっともっと、ご一緒させてください。
もちろんです。ありがとうございます。ということで、アンティさんには日本語で話しかけても OK ですということが分かったと思うんで、まずはね、そこで入った上で英語もちょっとね、一緒に話させてもらうぐらいでもいいかもしれないと思います。はい。ありがとうございます。ラップアップ。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。